Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Golden Boy Greg Anthony. Welcome to my channel, and today we are discussing professional wrestling wear and tear. You know, a lot of people like to use the four-letter word when it comes to professional wrestling, fake. But professional wrestling is anything but fake. Anyone that's ever been in a wrestling ring and actually taken a bump knows how hard that ring actually is. And when we talk about other professional sports, obviously, you know, those professional sports have off seasons. They have, you know, multi-million-dollar trainers to help keep their bodies in shape. But for independent wrestlers especially, professional wrestling is one of the toughest things you can do. Tracy Smothers, one of my mentors and a really good friend of mine, he said that every time you took a bump, it was like being in a 25-mile-per-hour car wreck. And I absolutely believe that. I'm one of the safest wrestlers around, and I have been injured multiple times. I have knees that need double knee surgery. I have an elbow that won't straighten out. I have a right eye that got poked in that I still have trouble out of this day. Not to mention concussion after concussion after concussion. So the wear and tear in professional wrestling is very, very real. And when you look at some of the unnecessary things that guys are doing in today's wrestling, dropping themselves on the aprons, dropping themselves on their heads, taking the unnecessary risk. I have seen more unnecessary injuries in the middle of live pay-per-views, live events in the last 10 years than I have probably in the 20 years prior to that. Guys that, you know, are jumping off stages and things like that, and they break their legs in half. We just saw something with was it Dante Martin, I believe, in AEW not long ago, where he took a Canadian Destroyer off a ladder to the floor, and his leg was hanging like Sid Vicious's. That Sid Vicious injury was one of the most gruesome things we'd ever seen, and that was one of the only things we'd ever seen. But nowadays, it seems like every other week we're seeing some very, very dangerous injury take place. Jon Moxley just had an injury where he was knocked completely out and had to be pinned on live television to save the championship, that kind of thing. So professional wrestling has gone that way, and unfortunately the wear and tear is something you can't avoid. I'm 42 years old. I've been doing this 23 years, and I've had close to 4,000 matches, and I'm still able to compete at a very high level. But there's a lot of guys that don't get that far. You know, a lot of guys are not being trained properly, and by the time they get to 30 years old, 35 years old, they've got such a laundry list of injuries that there's no possible way that they continue. So my advice to everybody is be safe, land flat, take care of yourselves, and maybe you'll live to compete another day. Golden Boy Greg Anthony, over and out.